Hi everyone, Ladislas Maurice from thewanderinginvestor.com here. I'm in Turkey having a look at real estate and the Turkish Citizenship by Investment program. So I just did what a lot of people do, and I simply Googled Turkey Citizenship by Investment, Istanbul real estate, and then I clicked on one of the first links, an agency. They asked me for my name, my email, my phone number. They had a bunch of new projects all over Turkey for sale, and within 8 minutes they contacted me, they called me, and they said, yeah, we have a lot of great investment opportunities. Would you like to see them? And I said, sure. I want to see your top 2 choices for an investment. So I told them specifically, I'm an investor. I'm not interested in only the Turkish citizenship, but I also want to make sure that my money is put to good use. So let's go see what it is they're trying to sell me. All right, so I'm in Bomonti, one of the nice areas in the center of Istanbul. I can't say I'm too impressed with the location of the place. Yeah, it's pretty noisy, big road. There's a lot of construction happening here. So we're getting there. Some of the marketing. So here we are. This is probably right here the hotel. I mean, the residences, not hotel. Rotana, it's a very well-known brand. This is the neighborhood. Construction going on. Like, honestly, Bomonti is a nice neighborhood, but this particular area I do not find attractive at all. It's not a walkable place. There are no little shops. There's really no life around here. All right, let's enter the promised land. Nice showroom. Pretty girls. Always be very careful when you go to a developer and everything is beautiful and all the girls are pretty. Generally end up overpaying. Alright, so this is what it looks like.
And the forest from the opposite. Let me show you here. This is from this side, city view. Maslak and the background forest.
Crowd here today is quite telling in many respects. There's a large group of Uzbeks and a few Africans. So most likely people who want to acquire Turkish citizenship to have more opportunities to travel without visas.
Evet, aynen. Bir de şöyle düşünelim. Mesela biraz böyle bir görüntü olmuyor yani şeyler. Bu örnek olduğu için aslında böyle ya. Bina aynen yan tarafta size göstereceğim. Biz normalde inşaata bakıp böyle geliyoruz buraya. Anlasın diye. Manzara şey değil. Tabii uçaklarda 4 parça teslim ediyoruz. Bunlar 3 tane ve bulaşık makinesi Siemens marka. Siemens. Evet. Evet. Aynı şekilde teslim ediyoruz. Buzdolabının yeri kadar bir farklı bir şey yapmak istiyorsa daha büyük ya da daha küçük. Ona göre. Aynen. Aslında 3+3 gerçekten biraz küçük.
All right, I would have liked to film the pitch that was made to me, but I don't want to put people's faces on camera and then destroying their analysis and their sales pitch. So I'll just do it here. So essentially you can get a 1-bedroom apartment, 66 square meters for supposedly $350,000 US. It's deliverable in 2022, but if you pay now cash up front, you get a 20% discount. So $279,000 in cash. So, I mean, what you get is a very nice one-bedroom apartment. There's no debating that. You know, the facilities you want, pool, gym, security, parking, everything. From a lifestyle point of view, probably great. The building itself, the location is good. The area in the immediate vicinity is not that nice. You wouldn't want to take a stroll around your neighborhood. But if you walk, 10, 15 minutes away, then you're in nice areas. But the way they're pitching it is as a great investment. Okay, and this is where it doesn't quite add up. So I'm being told on the long-term rental market that I would get $1,000 a month rental income. So first point, no one prices rentals in USD here in Turkey. So off the bat, it's a little odd, to say the least. And the tenants are expected to pay the common charges, so that's about $1 per square meter per month. So for this unit, it would be an extra $66. So rent, including common charges, would be $1,066. Honestly, I seriously doubt anyone would pay this amount for an apartment here. As soon as they open up, you're going to have hundreds of such apartments in the very same building, with a few hundred owners hoping to get $1,000 a month. It's just not going to happen. So they're basing the 5 to 6% based on these numbers. They will not materialize. Objectively, I think you'll get gross 2 to 3% at best. It gets even more fanciful when you listen to their pitch for short-term rentals. The first red flag is that even though this is a Rotana branded residence, so many people in the West do not know Rotana, but Rotana is a very well-respected hotel brand in the Middle East. Great quality, nothing to criticize. But to be able to put the apartment in the Rotana rental pool, typically you would expect Rotana to impose certain standards and to say, okay, we can put it in the Rotana pool, it'll be branded Rotana, but you have to choose these furniture packages so that it's according to our standards. But they don't. So you can essentially just go in there, put some cheap IKEA, and Rotana will market your apartment as Rotana, which from a marketing point of view and from a brand point of view makes zero sense. How they even came up with this idea, I don't know. Clearly they don't have a long-term plan. If they did, with just a little bit of brainstorming amongst the team, they would have found out that this is not the way to go. This is not how you maintain a brand and standards. So from the get-go, this appears to be just a, package this nice building, put the brand, flip to foreigners who want citizenship. They're expecting rental yields on the short-term rental of 8 to 9% yearly, based on renting out the apartment $170 to $200 a night. I asked them for their occupancy rate. They weren't too sure, so I don't really know how they got to 8 to 9%. No one's going to pay $200 a night for an apartment like this. It's just not going to happen. Really, it's just not going to happen. And then I asked them how much Rotana is going to take in terms of percentage for managing an apartment in the rental pool. I was told minimum 20%. So I'm a bit wary when I hear minimum 20%. What is then the maximum? And I was told, oh, we're not too sure yet. It'll be maybe 20 to 30%. Okay, so it's branded Rotana. Rotana doesn't have any clear furniture standards, and they don't even know how much they're going to charge people to manage the apartments. There's no business plan. The business plan is, let's make this building, let's brand it Rotana, and let's sell it to foreigners who want something flashy to get citizenship. That's the plan. So if that's the sort of investment you want, then go ahead, contact Rotana. Paying cash, the apartment comes down to $4,200 a square meter, which is definitely not cheap when you see that in the same neighborhood, in nicer little streets, you can get fully renovated apartments in older buildings for $1,500 a square meter. Also, part of the pitch was that once the building is completed, that the resale value would be 400,000 USD. So you pay cash now, $280,000, and then once you get the keys in 2022, you should be able to flip it for 400,000 USD. That's not going to happen at all. Great, so let me introduce you to my good friend Brian.
Hey guys.
I'm visiting him in Istanbul, and he's going to give you some feedback on what he saw.
All right, so this is the kind of project that you're going to be seeing a lot as you look at the Istanbul property market, especially if you're focused on citizenship. There has been a huge push in recent decade or so to spring up as many of these kind of semi-residential, semi-touristic towers all over the city. Now, this is not the worst one that I've seen. If you are looking to go down a quick path where you did just want to get a flashy product as you had shared and get the citizenship, it isn't the worst thing in the world. The issue is some of the plans are a little bit half-baked. What you find with these is they basically get a plot of land, they want to build as many units that are quickly sellable as possible, and they want to kind of brand it with some type of hotel brand to elevate the sell a little bit. In this case, as you've heard earlier, Rotana, the Rotana name was used, and it's used in a fair amount of places in Istanbul. Actually, it's not the first project. I think that the main thing that would keep this project a little better than others is at least it's not over an hour outside the city center. As alluded to, it's not the cutest little street, but it is a quick 10-minute walk to some main central areas, and that alone will prevent this type of investment from being a complete waste, because you're never going to go wrong in a major world city center. Pretty much you'll always at least have a minimum floor of what you could get for that. The question around returns and yields is interesting. Obviously in a sales office they're going to paint a very rosy picture. I don't think that you would get nothing for this. I just do question whether you would, let's say you went down the long-term rental route. I do question whether you'd be getting 6,000 to 7,000 liras a month when you could easily rent something twice the size of the unit in maybe a building with a little more character for maybe 5,000. I rarely know of anybody in Istanbul among my social circle who would say yes to a rental agreement for a year at that price unless it's something really, really stunning and really, really large or with a large view. So that's kind of fanciful. And as far as the short term, their plan is very half-baked. And so I wouldn't even count on using that path at all. I would count on, if I did buy this, using it for myself. If I popped into Istanbul, maybe finding some 3 to 6 month tenants, maybe there are certain demographic groups that really like this neighborhood. The Rotana brand obviously is very famous in the Arab world. There tends to be a large Arab buyer base for this type of property, and this neighborhood is very popular among expats in Turkey. And so you might find, a medium term, or you might find somebody who would be willing to rent it, probably a little lower than those numbers that we mentioned. But I would really not look at this as something to produce lots and lots of cash. I also would not look at this as something that's going to look like the final product in the sales videos. But your audience obviously knows that you guys are very savvy. They create these very compelling marketing content pieces, and then what happens is delivery date might get pushed year or two. Certain units might not have as direct of a view as maybe promised. And those things are par for the course, I have to say. There's a lot worse in the world. Again, if you like this type of project, there is way worse out there. So it's not like this is a total nothing. It does offer the citizenship, which if you just look at it as compared to some of these Caribbean programs and so forth, where you're just putting money into a national development fund, which who knows where that even goes, at least you are getting a piece of real estate and you can do things with it. And I do think this particular project will have some resale value to it, again, for the reasons mostly around location. So that's my thoughts on it. And there's certainly a lot to see in Istanbul with real estate, so looking forward to checking out some more projects. So if you guys want to check out my stuff in Istanbul or chat about Turkey or anything around globalization, culture, language, travel, hit me up on Instagram, brian.world, BRIAN.world, and I'll be putting out some videos on YouTube and some new sites as well, so you can follow me from there.
Okay, so we drove to this project deep into the European side of Istanbul. It's close to the Mall of Istanbul, one of the bigger malls here in the city. It's an area with a lot of office parks, a lot of hotels, high-rises. It's not an area that's walkable in any way. Everyone's using cars. So this, I was told, is the best option for rental yields. We'll be looking at 3 studios for the price of $255,000, including processing and legal fees for the citizenship. So literally just right above the 250 mark. Let's see. So this is the building. It's pretty recent, but they haven't found tenants for quite a lot of the units. There's some sort of cheese store down there, a little restaurant. And the building is this one. Really doesn't look great. It's brand new. In 10 years from now, it'll probably look awful.
So, first of all, welcome to our project. Right now we are in Gul Project Express. This is the name of the project. And the development is Gul Project. Actually, they are a very big family.
All right, so this is actually quite unique. We found out that this building was meant to be a hotel, but somehow the deal with the hotel brand didn't work out. So now it's an apartment building and they're trying to sell the units. So it's a project that didn't work out well. They're probably just trying to get rid of the units. So it could be an opportunity. So we're going to go check out the studios and see if the numbers add up. Reception area. All right, there's no electricity. There's the bathroom. It's nice bathroom, but yeah, you can't really see it. I can't say I was too impressed with these 3 studios. One, they were quite far. Driving from the Rotana to the studios took us about an hour through traffic. The area itself was nothing much to look at. It was just high rises of very mediocre quality. The area was just not walkable as well. Good public transport, but I mean, the price was just too much. It's over $2,000 a square meter for studios like this far away. When I asked them the rental income, the sales guy told me it's about $250 per studio. This comes down to a yield of 3% gross. And we're talking of a salesman who is exaggerating. So I didn't do any DD to see what the actual rent really would be. I'm assuming it would be lower, but I can't be bothered doing the research because it's just not interesting from the get-go. So yeah, I run with an assumption of like maybe 2.5% gross yields for studios that you're paying over $2,000 a square meter in an area that's kind of far from the center for a building that was of pretty low quality. And what was quite insightful is the homeowners association fees, the common charges. So it's a building that's already finished, so people are living in it, and they're paying $1 per square meter. So the Rotana also gave me a quote of $1 per square meter. So either the 3 studios building they're making money they shouldn't be making, or the Rotana is completely underestimating how much they're going to end up charging people. So it's potentially a mixture of both. But again, it just shows that the Rotana has no plan whatsoever when it comes to what they'll be doing once they hand you over the keys and they've taken your money. When I compare these new buildings, and this was me going around and like asking them specifically, these companies, what's your best investment? Like, I'm looking for an investment, not just any apartment. I want to see good ROI. And those are the projects that they came up with. Like, I couldn't have been clearer in terms of brief. So when I compare this with the secondhand apartments I can buy in the market close to prime areas in the center of Istanbul for less than $1,000 a square meter, and after renovation I can get gross yields of 5.5–6%. I mean, it's clear which is the better investment. And there's a lot less downside risk as well when you buy at such low per square meter price. People selling these secondhand apartments are making a lot less money than the people selling these new developments. I really believe that if you buy into these new developments, the product is not the apartment that you're buying, but you are the product, because there are just so many people along the value chain that are making fat commissions that, yeah, no, you're the product. So just be very aware of this. So I'd recommend to anyone who wants to do the citizenship by investment thing in Turkey, or who wants to just make an investment in real estate here in Istanbul, come here for a week, come here for 2 weeks, meet some agents, you know, sure, go see these new apartments. Go ahead, go see it for yourself. But if you're interested in numbers, you're going to reach the conclusion quite quickly that the deals are in the secondary markets, in the older buildings, and certainly not in all these new developments. Make sure to go to thewanderinginvestor.com and sign up to the free private list for all the updates as I travel around the world. Cheers.